Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Making Nevermorrow. My name's Chris. I am a freelance illustrator from Melbourne, Australia. I'm currently working on a comic book called Nevermorrow. It's going to say Making Nevermorrow. Nevermorrow, which just recently was successfully funded by Kickstarter. I'm now finishing the book to fulfill all the Kickstarter goals and get my comic book out there into the world and hopefully seen by some rad people and make more comics when it's done. So it's Wednesday afternoon. Yesterday was Tuesday. Finally got the video uploaded which was about 2 weeks old. Sorry again about that. Life just got crazy. So this week, yesterday was a write-off. We went out for dinner, had work most of the day, didn't get a whole lot done. Today, went down to Matt's, had coffee with him and Dean because it's been a couple of weeks, so wanted to catch up with those guys. Went out to the shops, got some stuff. For those of you who've been following my video blogs, I've been organising a food exchange with a couple of awesome lads over in the States. I'm sending them Australian junk food, they're sending me American junk food. There's 3 of us doing it. I've got Mike, Marsh and Kevin now. So went out, got the rest of that stuff, got them all in boxes, ready to go. Gonna post them off next week. Got a few little goodies and stuff as well that's not junk food, just as a nice little surprise for them. Bought myself a new jumper because it's freaking cold here in Melbourne. And now I'm working on the comic. So I finally finished the cover. For anyone who follows me on Patreon or who supports me on Patreon would have seen the new cover. It's awesome. I love it. It's finished, it's finalised, I don't have to stress about it anymore. In saying that, I'd been stressing over it for a couple of weeks working on another design, which I'll show you here. So this original design, I really wanted to be simplistic, but jump out and just be, cool, and people go, oh, what's this comic? This looks cool and different to everything else that's on the shelf. And was digging the concept, but did not enjoy it was taking me 2 weeks of just tinkering and playing and going. I wasn't happy with it at all. So after talking to some friends and showing them the print, which is actually the exclusive print for the Kickstarter from the stretch goal that we reached, so everyone gets a copy of this print. I showed some friends, like, dude, that is a killer cover. So ended up going with that, edited it a little bit, did the back, and now it's awesome. So woohoo! Have a cover. That was done. So I did do that yesterday, so it wasn't technically a write-off, but at the same time it didn't take me long to do it. Now today I woke up a little bit early, set up all the pin-up pages, sent a message out to everyone who did a pin-up, said, hey, I'm getting these pages ready, what links do you want me to put into the page so anyone who digs your art can find you online. That way, there's no bigger way I can say thank you than putting them in the book, but also having those links there I think is a great way to get people to discover new artists and say, hey, look, these guys were great, amazing enough to do artwork for my book, you should check them out and support them as well. And that's what I hope people will do. So got all the messages back, so I've set all those up now. So I went shopping, did all that, had coffee with Matt and that. Now I'm home. I was going to continue on the Making Nevermorrow section of the book, but I've still got the lettering to do, and as much as I'm not looking forward to it, I told myself that if I just get it done and out of the way, it's one thing I don't have to think about. It is probably going to be the longest arduous task to do, but so far, I'm working on it now. As you can see down here it is. Working on it now. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, but I haven't got to the speech bubbles yet, and I think that's where I'm going to slip up, because everything at the moment have just been voiceover or narrative boxes. And at this point too, I'm in an iron whether I keep, I should elaborate, Ozma, who is the AI droid, she talks in a narrative for the most part at the start. She has this particular box in a particular font. Now, at the start, she's actually a part of the ship, but then about, I think on page 7, she actually transfers herself into a droid, to follow the professor around and talk to her that way. Now I'm in an iron whether I go continue with the narrative boxes, which I think would work because at this point it's the same person, or it's the same character talking, and then the professor who had narrative boxes will then change to speech bubbles, so she will be talking. I think this could work in a way where it's Ozma's floating around, but Ozma can only be heard internally by the professor, rather than actually being a voice, like an actual voice. So, Ozma won't be talking to other characters at all in the book. It's always the professor. And I think that's how I'm going to go with it. Originally, in my head, I thought it was going to be a speech bubble, but I might stick with the narrative box. And it looks cooler too. I really like it. Ozma has a grey background in her narrative box with sliced off corners, just to make it look a little bit more sort of digital. And again, she has a very blocky font as well. Readable, but just makes it feel a bit more techy and, like I said, digital. So, get in there. So I'm up to, like I said, page 7 now. I'm going to keep going. I'm hoping I can get to at least maybe page 12 by the end of tonight. Like I said, it's 5:30 now. Probably going to have dinner. It's been a long day, but I haven't spent a lot of this time in the studio, so I might be able to spend a couple more hours in here without any hassle. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow, I think, unless there's more stuff to update. I'm just going to nut some of these pages out. Okay, so it's Thursday morning. I'm just heading home from the doctor's. It's 9:15. I thought I'd just get in early, because I hate waiting at the doctor's, so why not get in early? Get it out of the way, done. Everything seems to be fine. Just had to get a checkup. Nothing too serious. Okay, so last night I got up to page 9 on lettering. Not as high as I'd like to have gone, but we had a small family emergency with the dog. Nothing too serious, but definitely had Jazz freaked out, and I freaked out a little bit. But he's fine now. He's okay. He just got a little bit overexcited last night. That's all I'll say. So yeah, on my way home. That was weird. On my way home, probably going to stop off somewhere and get a decent coffee. Otherwise, this morning it's just going to be Letter City. That's all I'm going to be doing this morning, just hammering those out. I was meant to go to my parents today to get the baby seat fitted into my car. I probably know how to do it, but I just want someone to show me properly how to do it. They generally recommend you actually, go down to like one of the baby centers and they can install them for you. And they charge you like a whole heap to do it. It's like, well, my dad knows how to do it, so I trust him. I'm just going to do that, and then once he shows me how to do it, I can do the one for Jazz's car. And that's another thing out of the way as far as the baby's concerned. I definitely need to do my baby bag tonight. Just a little bag for myself if I do end up staying there for 2 nights, just so I know I've got some stuff with me, like just a comic book to read, a phone charger. I'm sure I'll be taking a ton of photos and videos and things like that. All that stuff just to tide me over during Jazz's labour period and afterwards while she's resting and things. So yeah, that's sort of my main goal today. I woke up excited because it's Thursday. Thursday is generally Artcasters Day, so I was really pumped to watch the Artcaster video. And then I got a message from Jeff this morning saying, "Hey man, I just want to remind you about the cast today. Are you still good? Blah blah." And I'd completely forgotten. I remembered like 2 days ago, but today I woke up and completely forgot I was meant to be on the show. I did the time matchup. I think they record at 9:30 their time, which I think is in Denver for Jeff. For me, it's 1:30 in the afternoon, which is fine because it's just after lunchtime. And I can just work while we're doing it. That's put a little bit of in my plans, because I don't think I'll be able to make it to Dad's to do the car seat, but I can probably do it tomorrow. If not, I'll probably have to find another thing because he's off to Malaysia for 2 weeks. But that should be fine. I'm really looking forward to doing it. I've always wanted to be on the Artcasters ever since I started watching it. I really admire Jeff, Scott and Kevin. of course, the creator of 100 Days of Making Comics. So yeah, it's kind of surreal. I've spoken to Jeff and Kev in Hangouts before, so like we get along. I've not spoken to Scott online before, apart from just like in Facebook chat. But he seems like a really nice, cool dude, so I'm really looking forward to having a chat with all of them. I'm assuming they're all going to be on there. I don't know. We'll find out. But I'll give a little update once it's done. Yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about. I think I'm just jumping on and we'll just go with the flow. I'm sort of in the same boots roughly as them, just in like much earlier stages. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go find myself a really good coffee place, get myself a cup of joe, go home and get some work done. Goodbye. Hey guys, so it's 7:30 PM on Friday evening. Been a long day. Forgot to update last night after the Artcasters video, which went really well. It was great hanging out with the guys and just chatting. We talked about a whole bunch of stuff like Kickstarters, social media, just being an artist, that sort of stuff, comics, you know, artist stuff. It was good. I really enjoyed being on. Got to talk to the guys a bit before and a bit after as well, and generally just it was awesome. And I'd definitely love to do it again down the track sometime, who knows. But yeah, so huge thanks to Jeff, Scott and Kev for having me on. I really appreciate that. It was an honour to be asked, so yeah, I'm really happy. So now it's Friday afternoon. Today was a semi-early morning, rough start, just struggled to get out of bed. Probably by the time I had breakfast, coffee, got changed, got myself ready for the day. It was probably about 9 o'clock. Hammered into the letters again. Remember, I think I was at page 9 or 10 this morning. As of now, I'm just finishing up on page 20. So I did have a bit of a break during the day. Jazz been home all day. She made lunch, and I decided that we should go for a walk because I haven't been for a walk in a while. And if I'm going to be brutally honest, I downloaded Pokemon Go yesterday. I'm sure you guys have heard about it by now. And Pokemon Go is essentially it's almost like a kid's version of a fitness app in a way. So it's got that whole Pokemon element to it, but if you really want to do anything, you kind of have to actually go out there with your phone and walk around to find Pokemon or to achieve things or to discover locations and things like that. So on my map in the area, there's a lot of what they call Pokestops. So you go there, you get unlockable items and stuff, extra Pokeballs and things. So yeah, let's go for a walk. I'll do that. We'll walk the dog. It's been a while. The weather's good for a change, so that was fun. I can actually see playing that game is going to be really good for me as far as my health goes, because I'll probably want to go for walks more just so I can play the game. Hopefully. It's a really nice incentive to do it. I mean, like, I know exercise in general, I should just do it, but yeah, half an hour a day, I get to play a game while I'm doing it. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. So, did that, went down to a friend's place to pick up a baby bath that they're lending us for the next few months. They don't have a big need for it at the moment, as their baby's almost 1 year old. So they said we can borrow it, which is really kind of them, so thank you guys. Then I visited Matt again for a quick cuppa, because he was in that area, and I had to drop off some paper to him for another friend to pick up who's doing some commissions and needed some blue lined comic paper, and I've got an abundance of it, so I said, yeah, you can have it. He's actually given me a copy of How to Draw the Marvel Way, that old book. He said, you can have it, I've got doubles, so yeah, nice little trade-off, why not? So now here I am, finishing page 20, I've got 4 pages left. As I said, it's 7:30 at night, so normally I'd definitely be retired by now. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. He's going crazy all day. Okay, he's quiet. So, like I said, 7:30, usually sort of done by now, especially if I've been working all day. But I've told myself, and Jazz is cool with it, I'm going to finish off the next 4 pages of letters, and then they're done, 100% done. I'm going to save them as a quick PDF and send them to a couple of people, just to check the writing, check the spelling, if there's any spelling mistakes and stuff I need to fix, and just generally say, hey, this is good, this is shit, you know, just so I know it's good. In the meantime, while they're reviewing it, or hopefully, the next couple of days are just going to be me finishing up everything else. So I've got to 100% finish the story. I've got to put together the behind the scenes stuff. I've got to adjust some of the pinup pages, and then I just need to make sure that the book matches up as far as for how the printer goes. So what I'll probably do once I finish these letters, which I really hope I can get done in the next hour. I'm probably pushing it, but I'm really hoping I can. I'm just going to do a little mock-up of the book, just on a A4 piece of paper, just so I know exactly how many pages there are. I'm pretty sure I've got one put away, so I'm going to double check that. I need to consider all the extra pages that I got through the Kickstarter as one of the stretch goals. So yeah, that's my current plan. While I'll do that, Gazbot just uploaded day 2 of his 100 days of making comics. Today's actually been really good. I've caught up on a lot. I've caught up on Mike's, I've caught up on Marsha's, tried to catch up on Yarns, and then I've been interrupted with lunch and then forgot to watch it. But Gaz just posted his, so I'll probably watch his and then watch Yarns if I'm still going, otherwise I'll watch his tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's another day. I'm working, so probably not a lot going to happen. I'll try and at least get something done. It'll probably be the story. I'll probably doing a bit of writing when I get home, if anything. I'm definitely at the point now where I'm really glad that this book's never finishing up, because I really want to draw. I really want to focus a lot on my social media at the moment. It really seems to be lacking. Fair enough, I'm really busy, but I really need to get back on top of it. Try and get my audience up a bit more. Try and boost some of those online sales, things like that. So I think there's a lot of people who don't realise I have an online store, and to be honest, there's not a lot on there too. So part of me is thinking I might be going back to doing some fan art as well. I'll also be rejigging the Patreon soon too. So for anyone who backs the Patreon, I'm going to change those. I'm going to do monthly rewards rather than trying to keep it as like a regular vlog. I'll talk more about that down the track anyway. No doubt once making Nevermorrow is done, I'm probably going to be keeping like a regular vlog, because I enjoy doing this. Probably won't be as regular though, and it will be mixed in with a lot more process videos and tutorials. That's the goal. So it's 9:20. I think 7:30 is when I last updated, and I'm happy to say that all the lettering's done. So it took me roughly an hour and a half to get it all finished, and now I've saved it all as a PDF, just the comic itself, so not all the extra bits, none of that, just a draft PDF of just the inks with the lettering, and I've sent it to a couple of friends, and I've also posted it onto the 100s group, just letting everyone know, like, if they want to read it, they can, but I really want some feedback from it. I understand if no one wants to read it, because if it was me, personally want to wait until I receive mine in the mail, so I totally understand if no one wants to read it. By the time this video goes up, everything should hopefully be at least ready for print by that point. So for anyone asking, I won't be giving out the PDF then, but it will be available online soon. Big thanks to anyone who does read it though from the 100s group. Much appreciated. It feels awesome to finally finish the letters for the most part. Except just a few little edits. I'm sure there will be a few, but yeah, it's done. It's done. Now I just need to do the last little bits and pieces, compile all the behind the scenes pages, finish the story, which is pretty much done. I'd say like 80% finished anyway. Wow, it's nearly done. In a couple of weeks time, this is it. Nevermorrow is done, and then I just got to put everything together. Awesome. Morning guys, it's Saturday. I'm on my way to work at the moment. To my dismay, of course, I'd rather be at home in the studio drawing. So as I mentioned earlier, I finished the lettering, which is absolutely fantastic. I sent it off to a few people. As you know, probably sound like a broken record, but for me it's been 12 plus hours since that happened. So I've already had one person give feedback, mostly just on the spelling mistakes and grammar. I don't know how many other people have actually downloaded it, but I've only heard back from one person. So yeah, that's good so far. At least I know that there are mistakes that I need to go back and fix, because the last thing I want to do, and I've done it before with other comics, is release it with all these spelling mistakes and errors, and people really like to call you up on your mistakes, right? There's one thing I've learned about doing comics, especially in an indie scene. People are more likely to tell you what you did wrong than they are to praise you. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, I definitely love critique, and I definitely love being given advice on how I can make things better. But it really seems people focus so much on the negative, it's almost like they're only reading the book to see where you stuffed up. I don't know if it's... and I know there's a few people out there who it really seems like it validates them to know that you fucked up worse than them or something like that. So it's in their best interest to make sure that you're not doing as well as them. And look, there's no one in particular that I can name, but I know that there's people like that I've interacted with in the past, and yeah. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to make mistakes in this book. I probably have. There's things in the book where it's like, oh man, I wish I'd inked this better or whatnot, but it's a learning process. And if I spend all of my time going back to fix these things to make it perfect, the book would never come out. And that's not the point of creating comics for me. Creating comics means that I'm doing sequential work consistently on new things and learning and progressing and growing. If I just sit on the one comic for a year, I'm not going to grow. There's no chance that I'm going to grow. So I need to I just need to let bygones be bygones in that regard and move on. And look, if someone wants to call me out on it, fine, but hopefully it's just not a barrage, and so getting all this feedback and stuff will hopefully avoid a lot of that. So thank you everyone who's already downloaded and had a read. I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you've enjoyed it. Definitely got a nice response on the ending from one person that's read it, that I know that's read it anyway. So I'm really excited. I woke up early this morning. I think originally I'd intended to do the remaining pages, but I was feeling pretty creative and not really in an editing mood. So I ended up almost finishing up a commission that's just been sitting there. This person's been super patient, as I've mentioned before. So all the lineup was done. I just had to do all the colors and the rendering. And it's a pretty simple piece, but it's still doing the flats and everything takes a bit of time. So I spent about an hour and a half on that, sent them an update, said look, here's where I'm at, let me know what you think of colour choices, if we need things changed, we will do that together. There's still another big commission that I've got to get onto, but I think I have sketched some out, but I need to sketch a few more out, I think, before I consider finishing the book, just so they know that I haven't forgotten about them. Hopefully I get a chance this afternoon. Apparently we're going out for dinner, but that's not set in stone, so it might give me a couple of hours in the afternoon to do something. I don't know. Oh, pardon me. Hay fever's really hit me today. It's really frustrating. So that's where I'm at. I want to get on top of these commissions, but I want to finish the book. And saying that, it won't be till Wednesday that I can actually consider contacting the printer and saying, hey, I need a proof of this. But for the most part, most of it's done. It's really just collating it and putting it all together now, which I don't think is going to take that long. I think just a good day's work should lead me to that. Because like I said, most of it's laid out. Most of the behind the scenes are laid out. I've just got to fill in the blanks. Same with the pin-up pages. The cover's done. I've got to do the inside cover, which is probably going to be a credits page, I think. Yeah, I still need to do that little book layout. If I get a chance during work, I'll probably do it then. Alright, I'll leave you guys alone. I'm kind of rambling now, and I'm sort of just throwing around in my head for things to say, just for the sake of an update. But in saying that I won't update later today probably, so here it is today. Welcome to Sunday. It's been quite a day. It's nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it's been a long day. We slept in. I was going to get up early, but I woke up with a thumping headache, so I decided to just go back to sleep and bite the bullet. And figured I haven't really had a super good sleep in a while, so I thought, hey, why not make this my chance? Clearly, I'm a firm believer in if your body is not feeling well, then it's usually a sign telling you to stop or slow down or just take a break. So took that as a sign, slept in, woke up, felt mostly better, took some Panadol and stuff. The headache did persist for a little bit of the day, but it's definitely gone now, which is fantastic. I can get a bit of work done now. Jazz and I went down to the markets in Frankston. We thought there was 2 on, so we went down to the first one. And I will say, when I did this, I did have in mind that we were going to do a bit of walking as well. So we walked for about half an hour to catch some Pokemon. It happened. And I caught heaps. I caught like 20 Pokemon today, which was awesome. So, not that that's got anything to do with the comic. We went to the first market, wasn't there. That was a bust, so we walked to the second market, had a bit of a walk around and checked out some of the scenery that Frankston has to offer, which isn't a lot, but what there is quite beautiful, which is, people give this place a bad rap, but I do like living around here. So we did that. The second market was a bit of a bust. We got in and it was probably about half as busy as normal. There was a lot of stalls that weren't there, but it was forecast to rain most of today too, so that's probably why. So then we went to the shopping centre, caught up with a couple of friends just by accident, had some lunch while we were there, went to JB, got myself some DVDs, got myself the entire Alien collection along with Prometheus on Blu-ray for like $35, so I thought that was a steal. And I got the Incredible Hulk on Blu-ray to go with my Marvel Phase 1 collection. I think it's like the only one I don't have, and that was cheap too, so I nabbed it up. Had a bit of spare cash, so I thought I'd spoil myself. So we had lunch, came home. I did a whole bunch of housework, like gardening and stuff, just tidying up the garden. It's been raining so much I haven't had a chance to do it, so it actually hasn't rained today, despite what the forecast said, so managed to get a bit done. Fixed up our rooms a bit more. We got some extra storage space for the baby's room. Yeah, it's been a solid day. So in the last update, I said that I'd sent out a PDF of the book. A few people got back to me now. Most of them, like you guys in the hundreds, who are like, oh man, I want to read it, but I don't want to read it until I get the book. I totally understand it. Thank you for downloading it anyway. I hope you're enjoying it if you have read it. And now there was one other person. Let me just double check here on Facebook. Okay, it was Karen Lewis Bonfiglio. I hope I got that last name right. Really stepped up and offered so much, like a breakdown of every single page and all the changes that need to be made. Just even the little things I wouldn't even consider. Like I said, I suck with grammar and spelling. Spelling I'm generally okay with, but grammar I'm definitely horrible with. And they just did a massive breakdown. So that's probably what I'm going to do this afternoon before dinner, is try and go through all of that. Probably take me a little bit of time, but definitely going to get started on that. So thank you so much, Karen, for that. It's a huge, I really appreciate that. Definitely going to make a big difference when the book comes out to print. And I'll try and I'll get in contact with you because I want to send you something just to say thank you for your help, because yeah, you didn't need to go to all that effort. It was awesome. So that's that. Got to get onto that. Got to get those pages done, as I've said. I think this afternoon we're just going to have a quick look up on Vistaprint about getting some stickers printed. I noticed that Scott Circlin got his stuff printed through there. We spoke a bit about it as well. And they generally arrive pretty quickly, which is a good thing. If I go through another company, it might take a little while. So I'm going to have a look and maybe get some stuff sent off to be printed to this afternoon, so I can get them during the week. Depending on how much, I might even get an extra sticker printed just for the sake of doing it. Just depends how much it is. I might have to do a bit of cutting myself, but it'll be worth it if I'm saving some money. which is always, you know, the big thing. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna head off and get cracking into that, and I might even upload some of these videos and get started on editing before tomorrow, because I've got baby classes again. That's going to cut into my day. So busy times ahead. Morning guys, so it's Monday. I'm on my way to work as my work week begins again. Still only working a couple of days a week, but hoping things progress soon. I'll be doing full-time work. I know I've got a ton of stuff to do when I get in today, so I don't know, hopefully that's a continuation, which means I'll be getting more work. So yeah, that's just a thing that was on my mind and I had to get off. So this morning I woke up pretty early. I actually managed to get up at 6 this morning. As soon as my alarm went off, I just got out of bed. As soon as I was up, it made it easy. So what I did was, I was trying to pre-plan in my head last night, you know, what my plan of attack was for this morning and what I can try and get done. Obviously, like I said yesterday, my time's limited this week. Obviously, like, you know, these next couple of days, obviously I've got work, I've got baby classes, so I need to, you know, maximize my production in the minimal amount of time that I have. So this morning, the first thing I did was the pin-ups. Again, I said I'd done the pin-ups already, but I had to fix up the links on most people's pages after they got back to me, because I was originally just going to use their Facebook pages and whatnot. Some people wanted their website, some people wanted their stores and stuff. Sorry, I got interrupted there. So I had to go ahead into all of the pin-up pages and just fix up the links and stuff and make them all correct, make sure the spelling was right and whatnot. After that, I finished that pretty quickly, which was awesome. I didn't think it would take long, but it was just a thing that I had to do. So then I sort of fiddled around thinking, oh, what do I do now? Clicked on, like, I might as well just get the editing of the letters out of the way. So that was my next step. I went back onto Facebook, into the V1, sorry, my camera's moved a bit. Went into the V100s group, found, I've forgotten her name already, but all the edits that were written up, I went through everything, and it took me a while. It took me maybe an hour-ish to go through everything. I had to fix up a few word balloons and whatnot, and overall it wasn't really that bad. There were a couple of sentences I needed to change as well, just that didn't seem like they didn't deliver properly. So I'll go through it again later this afternoon, just to make sure everything is okay. But I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like one more edit and that'll be it. I'll probably do most of that final edit in the after the printing proof, because what I'm thinking is, at the moment, and I don't know if any of you guys who've made comics, you know, they're watching, especially like you guys in the 100s, I've always had a problem with lettering and felt like I was working, having my letters to be too large. Obviously you've got such a minimal amount of space, but you need to fit as many words in as possible, especially in these small word balloons, which constrict, you know, how much writing you can put in there, and you need to sort of span it out and make it nice so you don't lose the art and blah blah blah. At the moment I'm happy with the way it looks. No one's actually complained about it, but when I get the book back from the proof, I'm going to look at that as one of my main things to go, okay, maybe I can bring it down maybe 1 point smaller. It allows me to do more art, word bubbles don't take up as much space, etc, etc. So that's one thing that I really want to look at, as well as the spelling, just make sure that's fine again. But I think from everything I went through, it's okay. So once I finished that, I figured I should probably get ready for work. Turns out I had a bit more time than I thought I would have prior to actually having to leave. So I jumped back on the computer and started doing the inside cover page, which will be a credit page. So this was referenced based off of Gaz's The Horror Comic. I like his layout, how he did it. So like when you open it, you've got the credits and then you've got the comic. And his has a quick rundown of what the horror A4 is, whereas mine's at the back. So essentially it will just be purely credits. And then I realized, considering I pretty much did everything, I don't really have a lot of credits to write. But then I thought I should probably put in my copyrights. I've got to put in just those little notes that say, you know, this is a fictitious book. any relation or any parallels to people in real life. Is a coincidence, etc., etc. So I picked up one of my friend's comics, Jeff's Randomvis, pardon me, and they had a really comprehensive one because he got that published through Udon, so obviously they know what they're doing with all their legals and such. So I pretty much copy and pasted that and put that in there. A link to the printer, who it's printed by, and the date that it's printed as well. So if I ever do a reprint, I can change that. So people know, the first edition, second edition, etc. Although I don't think I'll ever get to a second edition. I think this is going to be a once-off run, and that'll be it, more than likely. Unless it does well, it'd be nice to see it do well. We'll see what happens. So that's what I did this morning. Busy morning, good 2.5 hours worth of work done. Now when I look at it, I've just got to finish, so the cover page, I've got to do the sketch page. I also did cover pages for the behind the scenes and for the pin-ups as well, because they didn't have any cover pages. So when you finish the book, there'll be a cover page, and then you'll have the pin-ups, and then same again for the behind the scenes. So yeah, I got a fair bit done today, which is awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I've got to put together the behind the scenes page. I've got to do the inside covers and the sketch page and the thank you page. So overall, I think I've got about 12 pages left to do, but they're all pretty easy. I mean, there's no drawing involved. It's just cutting and pasting and a bit of typing. So yeah, I reckon I'll definitely be done by Wednesday night at the latest. Fingers crossed if all goes well. Yeah. So this is the end of week 16, I think it was. Thank you guys for watching this far. It's always a pleasure knowing that you guys keep up to date with these videos. I have been keeping up to date with some of the V100s. I'm starting to catch up on a few others. Eric Ferries and Kenny Keane. I've started watching some of your earlier videos. I need to really catch up, although I might skip a few and just jump to where you are now. I noticed a few people sort of dropping in and out, like Marsh and Mike, but I'm definitely keeping up with you guys because you guys are killing it and you're so close to the end. So close. Good luck. Good luck. I can't wait to see how you guys go, and I hope you'll continue working on your books past your 100 days. I'm sure you will, because you've all put a ton of work into it. Also, Gaz is kicking butt with his 100 days part 2, I suppose, for the horror, and he's really nutting it, man. Like, he's kicking butt. Everyone's kicking butt. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you all next week. This is going to be a good one because I'm going to get all the printing done, and it's all going to be pretty crazy. Bye.